ever been chased out of a retail store? It's time to close. They go over the loudspeaker, they say get your shit and get out. And you're one of those assholes who's the straggler, you're waiting till the last minute, and some clerk has to run you down and say, look, we're closing with or without you. Well, that was LB Oxenrider yesterday at the Stanley Cup Championships game. It was kind of funny. He's on the ice, and I was able to catch a little bit of the post-game while I was slaving away at that terrible, terrible job that I have. So I'm there, and I'm watching him on the ice, and he's literally moving across the ice, shuffling in his dress shoes across the ice, which is very difficult, I will tell you. I've done that in the past. And the camera guy's chasing him as he's going, and he's like, we're on our way. As you can see, we're the last ones on the ice, and they're kicking us out. And he said it like he was really, really proud. Like, look how goddamn dedicated we are. We're still here. They're literally telling us, there's no more. You're done. Get out. The news coverage in the aftermath of the Penguins Stanley Cup Championship win is pretty ridiculous. I was watching Channel 2 on the way after work this morning, early in the morning, and they're literally going through. It's like CNN. They've got the guy with the board behind them, moving zhuzh around and all sorts of crazy stuff, reading tweets from different sports coaches in the Pittsburgh area, from professional sports down to, like, I don't know, like Cal U's Division III club ice hockey coach, and they're making it out like it's some sort of, like, world, like, I don't know, world press conference type of a deal. And yeah, it's really exciting that the Penguins won, but the news coverage is a little extreme. It's almost like the newscasters almost have a middle school, like, kid invited to the prom kind of excitement about it. I don't know. I'm glad they won, but as I said, I was at work. I'm Brian Crawford. I am a slave to the man, and I'm here on the River's Edge Radio Network. If you want to give us a ring, it's 412-407-2PGH. You can hit us up on Twitter at RiverTalkPGH. This is the River's Edge Radio Network. It is Pittsburgh's local music radio station. So last year we won as well. Of course, back-to-back Stanley Cup championships. And last year, it's a Saturday. I believe it was a Saturday. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. Who the hell knows? But I was off the game that they could have won, the Stanley Cup, here in Pittsburgh. It would have been the first time that the Penguins would have been able to win the Stanley Cup in Pittsburgh. And I'm there at Market Square. In fact, we go down to the big screen. There are too many people at the big screen, so they opened up a second big screen TV to accommodate people at Market Square. So we went early. We got a prime location at Market Square, and we got to sit there and watch the Penguins lose. And then the next game, of course, away, and the Penguins can never win at home. They can only win away. So I should have known that this was coming. But the next game, I'm sitting there at work, and I have to go to work. And I'm thinking, you know what? It's okay. I'll get through the game, because I've got a smartphone, I've got the NBC app, which allows you to watch the game, and I'm streaming in HD quality the Penguins in the Stanley Cup Finals at work, just destroying the little data that we have on this family plan. And then this stupid bitch just would not shut the fuck up the entire game. And she can't tell that I'm being very short with her, and I'm kind of saying, like, hey, shut up. I don't care. I'm trying to watch the Penguin game, which could probably get me fired here at work, because it's more important than this goddamn awful job, which I will be quitting this year. So I'm trying to watch the game, and this girl keeps interrupting me, and I miss all of it. So then, what happens? My mother decides to try to be helpful and try to be nice, and ends up just rubbing salt into my wounds. My mom, love her, wonderful human being, sometimes has no idea how to handle a delicate situation. I've been a Penguins fan my entire life. I love the team. I've always watched it. And in the last 2 years, I've not been able to really watch much at all, and I've missed now 2 Stanley Cups.
To be fair, your wounds can be a little bland at times.
I like my wounds; they run deep. So I'm there. I missed the Stanley Cup Finals because this girl just keeps. So what does my mom do? She sends me pictures of other people celebrating because somehow that's going to make me feel better about missing the Stanley Cup championship and the Penguins winning a Stanley Cup, which, ask the Flyers, sometimes those come few and far between. So
did we get any good celebrating? Like was there rioting in the South Side or anything last night?
There was a big party in the South Side, but nobody was arrested.
Like bonfires and stuff, or just like
no one was arrested.
Man, Pittsburgh doesn't go hard anymore.
It was a good party. So Pittsburgh never really did go hard. Let's be honest. The last time they went hard was the G20, where they roughed up small businesses to fight globalism. But anyways, yeah, she sends me pictures of people celebrating and the skyscrapers being lit up with "Let's Go Pens," and I just was like responding like, "Yeah, thanks, Mom. I'm at work. Yeah, thanks. I can't enjoy any of this. You realize that, right? I'm at this fucking tomb." So that was how last year went. This year, at least, I was able to be miserable. I just made a few nasty Facebook posts about how I'm going to quit this place by next year.
I saw those.
And how I wish I would have taken the job with the IRS when I had the chance. So there was a guy on the South Side. I have Michael Cohen here with me, by the way. Terrible's Worth behind the board.
Good morning, Brian.
Maxwell Knott also is here. He's our great intern. So there was a guy on the South Side who literally, and this I actually did enjoy. I don't usually enjoy watching people celebrate when I'm living in this menagerie of dread, but this guy took a bite out of a raw catfish on the South Side, and it was bleeding all over. Yeah, now that's dedication, that's badassery, that's a hardcore fan.
That's fucking gangster.
Yeah, and that actually has some relevance to the game. It's not just some drunk pissing on the side of the street in the South Side. No, this guy actually knows something about the game, and he was kind of giving a big FU to Nashville, and they're awful fans. They had terrible fans. I was listening to
not like ours who eat raw fish in the street.
Yeah, but that's actually kind of like mocking them and kind of giving them the big middle finger, and I'm okay with that.
I got you.
Their fans, and that didn't do anything wrong. See, their fans were super losers, and when they got crushed in Game 5 here in Pittsburgh, slaughtered. So then they go home and they cannot put a single point on the tally. So what do? They don't get mad at their fans. They start complaining about the refs, which a lot of people complain about the refs, but usually you don't do that at the end of a Stanley Cup championship. And then they started throwing things at the ice, at the Penguins players, and ended up cutting Evgeny Malkin, who was then bleeding due to debris being flung at the team. This is according to what I heard on the coverage from Phil Bourque. I was listening to Mike Lang and Phil Bourque, so at least I got to do that and listen to Mike Lang make the call because he is the best in the business. But it was awful. So
okay,
but yeah, our fans badass eating and I usually never say that about Penguins fans. They're usually the biggest bitches of the NHL. But this guy eating this raw catfish, I'm like, yes, this is exactly what sports are about.
So okay, so here's a question, and maybe it's way out in left field, but like, as the U.S. political kind of spectrum, right, shifts to a more European one, where like normally all of our politics are very centrist, maybe a little to the right, and we see this division of U.S. politics right now, right, with like actual like democratic socialists and probably also like legit authoritarians that would fall somewhere in the realm of like third position. Anyway, are our sports also starting to mimic a more European approach to sports? Like, is this like a larger psychological package where now you see maybe something closer to like the football clubs of European cities and countries emerging?
I don't think so. I think hockey
when you talk about fans throwing things at the players and injuring them, like that starts sounding
very
like
European.
Yeah, but you know what? You'll see that like in hockey, you'll see that with like real amateurish clubs, like like for example, Nashville had never been to the Stanley Cup Finals before. Their fans are losers. They don't know how to, they've never been there before. So they had to get an education, and we in Pittsburgh were happy to give that. Now the problem with Pittsburgh is it's so far the opposite, where we're so used to winning that the fans go in there and they'll start cheering for Kiss Cam or dancing for a dilly bar, but when it comes to actual ice time action, there it's like you can hear a pin drop. So they're better in the playoffs. I'll give them that. Our fans are good in the playoffs, but during the regular season, they're awful. But I think that happens because maybe we're just so used to being so good. But no, I think hockey, their fans are always a little bit more into it. People talk about the NFL and having such great fans, and they have the worst fans. You get a bunch of fatzos out there grilling, drinking beer, and then I don't know, like college football fans are good fans, but NFL fans, I'm sorry, the Steelers had like one season at 500, and then they had the worst attendance in the league.
So it sounds
not loyal.
So it sounds to me that you have like this very American centrist kind of perspective on what a good fan is, right? Because it's not too quiet, but not throwing things on the ice either. Like just like middle porridge, right?
Well, I enjoy that kind of enthusiasm to where you would want to throw something on the ice, but it shows a lack of class, and it shows that you've not experienced the big time.
Man, when you look like you have a lack of class next to people from Pittsburgh, you are in trouble.
Yeah,
well, you know what? Our fans are actually Pittsburgh fans, believe it or not, when it comes to the Steelers, and I'd say the Pirates too, but the Pirates just don't know how to win. So, but those two fan bases, they're not really that trashy, and really the Steelers fans aren't that trashy. They're just super fair weather. Everyone likes to act like the Steelers are like the most loyal fan base in Pittsburgh. I would say they're behind the Pirates, at least the hardcore group of Pirates fans. They show up to the game, but most of the season ticket holders, they buy tickets to sell to other people. They don't show up. Like all the tickets are always sold, but that doesn't mean that people are actually showing up to the game.
Gotcha.
So, a lot of Steeler fans, they'll buy tickets, and then when the team's not doing well, they can't sell the tickets off, and then you've got empty seats. So, or I shouldn't even say not doing well, when the team is doing 500, which is still average, they still can't even get people to sit in the seats. So Steeler fans will only want to go when it's like when they're really, 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 really winning. So the one thing I am not going to do though this year is I'm not going to watch the Penguins parade. God, last year was that awful. The Penguins themselves, like, they were fine. The parade was cool. There was no issues. I actually went to the parade in 2009, and that was a lot of fun. But this year, with this mayor, I mean, he goes out there, and it's creepy. Like, his speech last year at the parade was just super creepy. He's out there like, oh, Marc-Andre and I, or, Chris, you really, you taught us that perseverance, and he's like calling them all by like a first name basis, like he's like drinking buddies with them, like he's in the locker room after every game for like the coach's like pep talk or whatever. Like that's how he's acting in this press conference. And I'll be honest, it was really creepy because he's what, like a 50-year-old man, and they're all in like their mid-20s for the most part, and it was just like, and he's acting like he's one of the boys, and it's like you're coming across as like a creepy old guy who wants to be like, I don't know, hanging out with the high school kids.
Which is hilarious because, I mean, at this point, you or I would be like that too, right? We're like both in our 30s. Or,
well, you know what, there are some...
Are you in your 30s? I forget.
I am. I'm 30. But there are some people in their 30s on the bench. So that's at least doable. You know what I mean? There are people on that bench that are in like their 30s. I think like the oldest you get is like early 40s, like Yager's still playing, but I mean that's like a huge exception.
It's just really funny when you see everyone in like mainstream pop culture get younger than you. There's like a year that happens when like every musician is now younger than you. Half the cops that pull you over are younger than you. Everyone on a sports team is younger than you, and you're just like, whoa. So this is what y'all are doing with your lives, huh? And they're like, yeah. And you're like, all right, I'm figuring it out. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I'm going to do something too.
We're supposed to have Kyle Rawlinson on the show today, but I haven't seen him, so we'll find out what's going on with that. But stay tuned tonight, by the way. 7 p.m., we're going to have a special Facebook Live show. I'll have Hugh Twyman in the studio. He's going to talk to me about his big event coming up at James Street.
Nice.
So that's something, he's a staple here in the music scene. So definitely stay tuned for that. And if you didn't see the big announcement, by the way, we have, and that may be something we can play during one of the promos if you can find it. We have a deal now with Sound Scene Express, a partnership where they are going to be sending us music updates and music news every week. So Sound Scene Express is an awesome music newspaper here in the city.
Fantastic.
So you'll be able to enjoy that. And we also have some more stuff on the horizon as well. So, Michael, I know you're somebody who enjoys a good protest.
I used to go to many, it's true.
Many.
Enjoy might be the wrong word, but I used to attend several. Yeah, what's up?
I led a protest once, actually. But this time, though, I was actually out in Lawrenceville, and there was a really cool protest going on. And I'm not sure what they were protesting. And I asked somebody, like, what are you doing? And his answer, I don't know, was very brief, very quick, and I really just didn't understand what he was talking about. I'm wondering if it's connected to this protest here. So I was out with Jenny Sines. She runs the Millville Yoga Collective. We share, we're both tenants here in Millville Studios. And but yeah, there was this protest going on outside of Allegheny County Jail that was about, like, trying to clean up the prison system. They want to close the jail. And I guess there were some people who have committed suicide, unfortunately.
This one in Lawrenceville, was this last night?
Yes, I'm wondering if it was connected.
Okay. So, vaguely is the answer. I mean...
You know about it, then?
Yeah, I heard about it.
Were you there in the protest?
No, I wasn't. No.
I didn't see you,
So, that's an interesting question. So, June 11th, for the last 10, 15 years, has been a day. It was originally started as a day to support and celebrate eco-prisoners. So like when environmentalists in the early 2000s started facing long jail sentences for minor acts of sabotage, basically against logging equipment, right? Because they would protest to try to save these old growth forests. And then when inevitably the laws were stacked against them and the government was like, okay, well, we've heard your protest. Thank you very much. Your opinion's duly noted. And would go to cut the things. Oftentimes they would sabotage the logging equipment.
Okay.
And they started, the government started sentencing people to double-digit sentences. And so there was this day kind of started to create awareness around this. The first prisoner was Jeffrey Lewis. He's out now. And it has kind of shifted to a day of supporting. It broadened a few years ago. Some people thought it should, some people thought it shouldn't, but it broadened to a larger day of supporting long-term political prisoners in the U.S. and around the world.
I see.
So, and a lot of times...
Well, the protest was really interesting because they had like a marching band that was going by and performing, and they were just walking along the sidewalk. I love a good marching band. So yeah, and it was like just like a ragtag group of musicians. I feel like it was... I mean, it had to have been somewhat organized, but I feel like it was very loosely organized.
Pittsburgh has some great radical marching bands.
Yeah, which was pretty cool. So here's the question. When does a protest start to have the opposite effect?
You mean make people support the thing that they are protesting?
Or just, like, not care about what you have to say?
I mean, I think protests...
Because this protest in particular... I saw it, and I enjoyed it because I was a pedestrian, and it was fun to watch them, walking down the sidewalk. But then they started, like, walking onto the road.
Yep.
And then, like, turning around and blocking, like causing some, like... I mean, luckily it was minor traffic issues because they got back onto the sidewalk quickly. But, like, they were, like, walking down the street to a point. And I'm thinking, if I'm that car behind them and I have somewhere to go, all of a sudden I don't give a frick what you're protesting. I'm just really, really pissed.
I mean,
I feel like at that point you aren't actually helping your cause in any way. When you piss off drivers, they just don't care then.
Well, we all know how you feel about literally anything that impedes car-based commercial, car-based capital. So, your opinion, while it probably is a popularly shared one amongst drivers in the U.S., globally, I think the kind of logic behind protest runs in their favor. Here's what I'll say about I think protests serve a lot of different purposes. I think half the purpose of a protest is the rally element, where you're actually taking supporters, doing something collective, think like a parade, right? So
Yeah,
basically,
so I like that when they were on the sidewalk, and I would have liked it too if they had like, I don't know. But,
yeah.
I mean,
Well, now if only Memorial Day, Veterans Day, and Pens fans would stay on the sidewalk when they
if
parade,
they
I
get
would love
permits,
that.
then
as well.
there's traffic routes around it and everything else.
Sure,
Where
okay.
these people are just like completely
Yeah.
shell shocked. They're on their way to work, and now all of a sudden they're getting fired from their job, and they can't feed their kids because
Yeah, that
somebody-
didn't happen.
Somebody
That's okay. You're
decided
making
that
that
they
up,
were.
but that's all
I
right.
mean, that could have happened because somebody decided that they were going to just block the street. What if it was
Okay.
like, the boss is like, "One more time, Jack, and you're out of here," and then Jack gets stuck behind this group of protesters, and now all of a sudden Jack has hungry kids, so now Jack starts stealing to try to feed his kids, and now all of a sudden Jack is in prison.
Yeah.
All because
You know,
he stole to feed his kids because a protester stood in the middle of the street, impeding him from his ability to get to work.
a car
Therefore,
accident or construction could have done that to him as well. So yeah, it's a fickle world we live in, huh?
I'm just saying, there are ways to protest. Like when they're on the sidewalk, no big deal. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun.
Sure.
I asked questions. I didn't really get a very clear answer, so
Yeah.
I still really didn't understand what they were protesting until you explained it. But at least then I was kind of like, oh, well, that's fun. They're going on the
Like I
sidewalk
said,
and they're
June
playing-
11th is
playing music.
less of a protest. Sometimes it'll be tied into local prison issues, like what we have here
Yes.
in Pittsburgh, where the city tends to charge protesters with felonies whenever they can get away with it. Like over at the Allegheny County Jail recently. And so I think there is a protest element, but I think a lot of the June 11th stuff is more rally parade oriented.
So, okay, so I see your, that's cool. I'm glad that I know that now because that is something important because I really had no clue. I asked the guy, he's like, oh, and then I'm like, okay. So, but that leads me into open streets. Again, they had a recent open street event, and that's an event where you make the city cringe at cyclists because instead of working with the community, they work against
Oh,
the
so now
community.
even when we get permits, we're still the bad guys, huh?
When you block off entire blocks. for
Yeah,
the
I see
entire
now,
day,
Brian.
Yes.
Music festival, cool. Arts festival, cool. Bike festival, boo.
Yeah, I mean, it's awful. So it doesn't endear anybody to their purpose, though. That's the thing. It sends people running the opposite direction. I think of open streets, and I'm thinking closed streets. The streets are closed to people like me. It's discrimination. Here's the thing.
That is not discrimination,
The
just to be clear.
cyclists can still legally have the right to ride on the road. People have the right to walk on sidewalks. There are ways for people to get around. All open streets does is it puts vehicle drivers under the thumb of the big bike lobby.
There is no big bike lobby.
There's definitely a big bike lobby. So, open streets occurred though recently.
I
They
want
had
your
one-
Glenn Beck chart of who's part of the big bike lobby.
Potato.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
Yeah, but who's paying him, man? Where's the money coming from?
The money's
Follow
out
the
there.
money.
The money's out there. Trust me. No, I mean that's my thing though. I look at this protest and I'm thinking, yeah, that's fun. I think of like, I don't know, the river trail. I love the river trail. So I even like, I like the idea of some bike lanes in some places. So what I'm saying is there are ways that the bike community could embrace the automobile driver instead of creating this scowling vitriol towards.
Just view it like any other
Cyclists.
festival, bruh.
What I'm saying is like you don't need to close down Butler Street, close Walnut Street in Shadyside, for example, because they close that all the time for festivals, and then people can park in the permit parking in the back, and there's a lot of other options. It's not just let's close down Butler Street and all of the side streets that access all of the parking, and now you can zigzag your way through Lawrenceville
Right.
and not actually be able to make it to any of the businesses that are open that you want to get to.
Have you considered biking?
No.
Oh, I've heard open streets is a fabulous time if you're riding a bike places.
Here's the thing. I don't want to. I'm a civilized individual. I have progressed to a vehicular automobile.
That's actually that's more of a rural thing. The urban motif that you've chosen to live in is largely mass transportation and bikes.
Not in Pittsburgh. Well, I mean, there's busing, but
No, we're moving towards it. Yeah, no, the buses are getting better. We're
no one's really moving towards it. If you look at the bike lane
Oh,
during any
okay.
day, it's pretty much empty.
Oh my god, it was packed like 2 days ago when I was biking from work.
Probably like during like big bike lobby, rally, open streets.
You mean Pride?
Bullshit. Well, I'm sure they probably had like some sort of bike Pittsburgh like kiosk.
Yo, I will say this about Pride. We had we had more not obese males in our restaurant than I have ever seen in my life. You looked at this group of people, you would have thought we were selling healthy food. It was amazing.
That's fantastic. Well, let's roll into the weird news. We've got a few weird news stories here for you. I am Pittsburgh's #1 weapon, your defense against the Mon Monster, the nasty creature who lives into the rivers, who tried to destroy the Arts Festival and Pride this week, but because of our weird stories, we were able to keep it content and satisfied, and we're going to try to save you for one more week. We have 3 weird stories. This time we're going to do things a little bit differently. We're mixing it up here in the studio. First off, there is a dog, a German Shepherd, who was fired as a police dog. It was given the boot. Well, actually, it wasn't given the boot. They did not abuse the animal, but
they gave him the boot to chew on. It was fun.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, but in a way, kind of. So they did fire this dog, and it ended up that the governor. This took place in Australia. The governor of Queensland, Australia, decided instead of just completely writing the dog off and sending it to the bread line, that he would give it a different position. So now this dog is like a super like high up dog in Australian politics. And let's see what the article says. It says police dog fired for being too friendly. Gets a new assignment. So the dog is
oh my
super
god,
nice.
look at that dog. It's just a puppy though.
There's a picture of it as a puppy, but it gets bigger actually.
Okay.
There's a bigger picture of it whenever it's when it's all fully grown. But yeah, they have made this dog a let me see if I can find a name here. It is a Vice Regal dog. That is the new title of the dog. And the dog now wears, instead of wearing like police shit, the dog has a big scarf on its neck now, which is very cool. And
like
the dog,
Dippy the Diplodocus.
I don't know what that is. What's that?
He's outside the museum. They put a scarf on him sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Dippy the dinosaur.
Very cool.
Diplodocus is the
correct way. I said it
correct way.
both ways.
No, you.
Oh, Dippy the dinosaur. Oh yes, at the Carnegie Science Center.
You said
Not
it the
Science Center,
scientifically
Carnegie Museum,
correct
yeah.
way. I translated for Brian.
I was there the other day, and I know you hate museums, but
I've never said that.
I thought you said you hate like the Carnegie style of museum. You only like.
I think I've probably come out against bougie art galleries.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay, yeah. So you like the
Okay.
museum. Okay. So, have either of you been to the museum recently, the Carnegie?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I was there for like 4 hours the other day, and I wasn't able to see all of the art museum. So I was there for 6 hours just a couple days ago, and I barely got through the history museum. And
Yeah,
I
the
was-
art museum is
you
hard
got
for me.
stamina.
Yeah, I was running.
I
to
could
get
do
through
2 hours
all of it.
tops in a museum.
In and out. Well, then you don't.
No,
get
I
to-
mean like I can't.
Oh, you can't
I
stay.
I
I
see what
see.
I see, and then I have to sit down,
Well, that's a nice
and my
thing.
eyes
So
hurt.
Thursday is like the day to go to the Carnegie Museum of Art or Natural History, because they open and then they stay open until 8 p.m. And I asked the question because my phone had died, and I was actually going to meet with Kyle, who's going to be here talking in just a few minutes. I had asked, can I leave and come back? And they said, yeah, sure. So you can leave, go eat lunch, or go visit whatever cool thing else they have going on in Oakland, and then head back. So, and if you're a student, you can get in at a discounted price. So that's something also to consider. So story 2.
Story 2. I'm contributing today. We've got
We're hoping that this is okay with the Mon Monster. We will find out.
See if this is weird.
If we're all dead by, well, I know, but he doesn't have a relationship
then my
with you.
fault.
He
No,
knows-
it's
he
true.
knows
It's true.
me.
If,
And
if,
he doesn't leave the river, right?
if we're all dead, my fault.
So if you stay away from the river, you're okay.
No.
Well, no, he like he said, he tried to quash pride, and also what was the other one?
The Arts Fest.
Yeah, he attempted to attack the Arts Fest.
Why do you think it didn't rain this year during the Arts Fest? Because it was to lure people in with a false sense of security, so that way they come downtown and then there's tons of people to take down.
Oh, I thought he was the one who normally makes it rain.
No,
I mean, making it rain.
I mean, he could. I'm sure he could if he wanted. I don't know. But yeah, we have weird story 2.
So Facebook and Elon Musk, insofar as Elon Musk is not a company but just an entity unto himself at this point, are both working on neural interfaces to call them our phones at this point is maybe a little caveman, but essentially for our phones. So instead of having a phone, Elon Musk is working on a product called Neuralink. Okay, and the actual product is Neural Lace, and it is essentially a brain interface as we move into the Internet of Things for you to be able to interact with and control items that are web-based with your mind.
Wow.
Okay, and large steps have already been taken towards this through prosthetics, where they now have prosthetic arms and legs that actually do have the sense of touch by communicating with nerve endings in the still remaining portions of the limb. So we're not actually that far out on this.
Wow.
And it's just wild. Like, given how buggy your phone is, how many viruses go through everything? Like, half the internet got ransomwared last month, and people want to put something in their
That's
brain.
one thing I never understood. So that's like where I'm, like I agree that like people suck at driving, but the whole like automated car thing scares the hell out of me because I'm thinking like, holy shit, what if somebody does a ransomware on your car and all of a sudden you're driving around in circles for
you've got some 17-year-old Russian accent coming through your car explaining to you how to use Bitcoin so you can pay your own ransom.
Yeah.
Who wants that? Right? And now this is just in your brain.
However, this could be funny because you could like then take over someone's mind and just like stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself.
Seriously though. I mean, you're not that far off. I mean, even right now, if you think about it, right? Like, we don't use encyclopedic knowledge anymore, like where you actually know things. We use reference knowledge, where you know where to find things. So, like, you essentially already have a prosthetic memory. Like, your phone is your phone book. You used to remember phone numbers. My best friend...
I never did.
Oh, see, I still.
But I hate the phone. I don't like to talk on the phone.
I still use my friends' phone numbers from childhood as most of my passwords.
I remember when we got a new phone
Probably
number.
Probably a bad thing to say on the radio, but it's fine.
Yeah, my friend remembered my phone number before I did because I don't remember.
But
phone
we
numbers.
don't remember things anymore. We just remember where to find them. And so if you.
But doesn't that free up our mind to remember things that matter?
Yes, but it means that people can edit your memory.
Oh.
Right?
Okay.
Like, if you remembered 40 phone numbers, you would remember them. But if you only remember 2, I can actually edit the phone I can edit the phone numbers in your memory. I can edit your picture, all those sorts of things. And so, like, that's wild. Who would want that? Someone digging around in their brain.
Yeah, I don't like that concept.
It's nuts. I don't know. I guess I don't even know what the vision for this. Like, why do people think that's going to be and right? It's going to send information both out and to your brain.
Yeah.
And the question is, like, will people be able to argue with your thoughts the way that they argue with your Facebook comments now? Mm-hmm. Like, are you just going to be bombarded with voices
that would be a nightmare.
Constantly? Like, this is a big step towards the Borg. That's the thing. Like,
that's true from Star Trek.
Even in the article, they acknowledge that.
Yeah.
Even in the article, they're talking about.
I just saw him like type in someone's phone number too, like on his phone. So.
to
unlock his screen.
Yeah, no, it's true.
So. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, the Borg, that's scary shit. So, our third story today. Well, first off, how does everybody here like their burgers?
Delicious.
Delicious.
How do I like them?
Yeah, medium well.
I like them
raw.
Medium.
Can't
be cat food. It has to have some substance to it.
What do you like on it?
Cheese, lettuce, tomato, onion, mayo.
What if somebody forgets the mayo?
I'm very passive, so I wouldn't say anything.
Okay. Well, this one man is very passionate about his food. And this man was so angry over his onions. It says a man faces charges, this is from KDKA, after police say he threatened the lives of employees in a restaurant in Oakland because they put onions on his food. So then he also exposed himself.
I don't think this is about the onions
oh my God.
anymore.
I saw a fully naked man walking down Butler Street the other morning. Like, he wasn't in the right
Yeah,
But
frame of
I hope
mind.
that wherever you are, man, I hope everything ended up okay.
Yeah, that's crazy. So yeah, this guy, his name is Yuba Sharma, was arrested Tuesday night outside of an All India restaurant on North Craig Street. And according to the criminal complaint, I'm reading here from KDKA, the owner told police that Sharma had been at the restaurant the day before and he was acting belligerent. So when he returned Tuesday and appeared to be intoxicated, the owner said he was not welcome.
Wait. This wasn't even about Onion's day of. Bruck came back?
Yeah, he's crazy. He's very particular about his burger.
That's amazing.
Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to have Kyle Rawlinson here in studio, and we're also going to open this door and get a little bit of air, because it is hot in here. I mean, I am in the room.
Zing.
So, we'll be back here on the River's Edge. Brian Crawford letting you know that Kevin Slogic, my State Farm agent in Allison Park, is here to help life go right and reminds you that you're listening to the River's Edge Radio Network. So welcome back to the River's Edge Radio Network. Brian Crawford here, still drowning in my sorrows over an awful night. But, yeah, Neon Swing Experience. So that's the band that just played before we came on, and everyone was saying how much they love them. And yeah, I just saw them the other day out at Needs Hotel, the amphitheater outside. If you haven't been there, it's pretty.
I read past that all the time. That's right across from Unplanned Comedy Warehouse.
Yes, yeah. It's really cool there. And what's awesome about it is they actually will like put out tables across the street on the sidewalk as well. I have no clue how they legally get away with that through alcohol laws here in Pennsylvania, but somehow they do. I don't know.
They have that street named after them right there, so
Yeah.
it's their territory.
You can pretty much do whatever
Or
they
you've
want.
just blown up their spot.
Yeah.
Whoops.
I don't know. So, but it's pretty awesome. But we have Kyle Rawlinson in studio right now. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I can't hear you. Wait, can you? There we go. Try now. How are you? Hi.
You're on. You
He's
said
on.
talk
All right.
loud.
There we go. Okay. What's up?
Is nothing but a gravel, so I'm gonna like corner myself in here. There
Try to
we
maybe
go.
like put the gain up
Here,
on
let's
him.
just-
I'll hold it right here. We good? We good now?
There we go. All right. So, you're here in studio.
Yeah.
Who are you?
Shit, that's a good question. My name is Kyle Rawlinson. I am from Libertyville, Illinois, and I moved to East Liberty. I started in Oakland, so I've been in Pittsburgh for 7 years. I do some film work time to time, and
Oh wait, he's not plugged in. That's why. Here, have him use your mic.
What do you mean he's not plugged in?
He's
yeah,
not
I know.
plugged in. Have him use your mic. Yeah.
And I dabble in politics.
Okay.
Oh yeah, there it is.
So there we go. So, yes. So what all do you do? I know you perform at open mics. You're a funny guy.
It's very kind.
Yes.
So I guess I gotta repeat myself. So
I'm sorry. We're trying. Yeah, because nobody can hear you.
We're good. We're good. So yeah, moved to Pittsburgh 7 years ago. Live in the East Liberty area, Highland Park in particular, and I moved from a town called Libertyville, Illinois, which is near Chicago. I normally would say I'm from Chicago, but this is going to be like tested in a court of law. So I am from 30 minutes north, a place where Max, who's also sitting in the studio right now, got kind of arrested with me.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me this story. I need to know this.
Do you have time?
We got a few minutes.
Can I talk-
Here's the thing: is
Can I talk about drug consumption in the studio?
Yay.
Go for it. We're not FCC.
That's part of it.
So, okay. Makes
Oh,
sense.
okay.
Yeah.
God, I gotta tell that story. Shit.
Yeah, I want to know.
This was not. I'm getting sidelined here. Okay, so real quick. So we
You
had.
could just say something like that in studio and then not
well,
elaborate.
how much time we got? Okay,
I own the network, so
It's a story I make. I tell in 10 minutes, but I'll try to do it in 2. So after going to road trip to Chicago for 4th of July weekend with the boys, carrying only a boombox the whole time. It was like something out of the 70s, sleeping in a basement on cots. So we spent 3 days up in the city. We hung out on rooftops. We drunkenly pissed on police stations. We yelled profanities at a diner, Max, and a diner that is now a ramen bar, because gentrification. 4 white people in a studio. Got to talk about And then, sorry.
Yeah, this studio used to be a native burial ground, actually.
Yeah. And I'm Native American.
That's why I'm feeling the shakes, but I would just disguise it as nerve. But it's ancient Indian spirits. Yeah, so we go back to the burbs. By the way, when we're downtown, we see cops like everywhere, and like it's cops in the north side of Chicago, and they just like all have like the vests, and they look very trim and proper. But like no incidents. We like shot fireworks wrong way. Like I had a Roman. Really drunk one night, and it was the sun was coming up, and a guy had to go to work because it was the 4th of July that fell on a Sunday, and now it was turning into Monday. And a guy was just like, "Stop shooting Roman candles," and I'm just like, "Expecto Patronum," and then it just shoots me in my foot. So after like falling asleep on a rooftop with a Mario Kart controller in our hands and moonshine in the other. We go back to the burbs for our last night before these guys take off to Altoona, PA. And so we're like having beers, very casual on my back porch. And I'm like, you know what we need to do? There's a road that just got freshly paved. It's like super trim and super smooth. We should go ride razor scooters. And I'm like, but first we should go on top of a hill and do things that unsavory youths do on hills, not the sex one, the weed one. So we go on top of the hill. And we have a proper time, and then we get our razor scooters and we go downhill, and it's not even much of a hill because it's Illinois and it was once a prairie. So we ride down the hill and like you push twice and you're just coasting, and then we turn the bend. There's one part of the story I took out. So all of our stuff we stashed in a bush where it like connects next to my house. God, I hope my mom doesn't see this. So we threw all that away, and then we're free. We're golden. So we go down the hill. We take a bend at Gulf Road, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, just a headline shines on us, and we're 3 unsavory youths on razor scooters. And then so this cop's like, "What are you doing? Where are you from?" I don't have anything on me. I don't even have my ID on me. So he's like, "Sit on the curb." I'm like, "What's your probable cause, officer?" At 3 a.m. and stoned. So I'm like, I'm testing my boundaries here. But he's like, "Sit on the curb." And I'm like, "Okay." So he sits me on the curb. I'm like, "Sir, I'm just asking for your probable cause. We're just enjoying a nicely paved road, like scootering at 3 a.m. in the burbs. Like I'm from just over there. Like this is my childhood stomping grounds. Don't test me." And he's just like, "That's enough from you," and he handcuffs me. So I get handcuffed, and like these guys too don't even belong. They're all from Altoona, PA. They're just like city, like farm boys in a farm town next to a city. So yeah, I'm not doing this in 10 minutes at all. So yeah, they have to put their hands on the cop car. Like they're patting us down. They call for reinforcements. Next thing you know, there's like 6 cops for like 4 just like white kids in white beaters, like who are riding razor scooters. And I'm the whole time I'm like, "What's your probable cause, officer?"
How old were you at the time?
Oh, this was like 3-4 years ago.
Oh.
Okay.
So,
You're not that young, yeah.
No, we're not young, but we have razor
Yeah,
scooters.
I'm thinking like you're in like middle school or something.
I know.
Like,
No. It's even more embarrassing when
that's
I
what
add
I'm thinking. Man, they have like IDs and
our age
Illinois?
to it.
No, the drunken bender should have tipped you off on that one.
So
well, but never know.
To wrap it up, our other friend Thad, who had a mustache at the time, bonded with another cop who had a mustache. They pat us down. They smell an empty bag, and they're like, "Oh, we knew something was in this bag." And we're like, "Yeah, something was." And then that was. So then they're like, "We know we got you for something, but our boss is feeling in a good mood tonight, so we're gonna let you off." And they uncuff me, and then we just make this like lonely, sad walk of shame, like 4 blocks or like two suburb blocks back to my house, and we just get back in. And when we get in, Max over there is like, "What happened to the stuff? Like, where'd it go?" And he didn't know that it was gone the whole time. So the whole time Max was getting searched, he had this fear that there was stuff somewhere, like that it was gonna get found, and he was gonna get royally, I don't know if I can say fucked, but it just did.
Yeah.
Cool, I just said fucked.
All right.
Can I say it again?
Yeah, do it one more time.
No, I won't.
No.
I feel like you're feeling uncomfortable about that, so I won't. So yeah, that's
I've said it like 3 times earlier today.
I was in
a bad mood today, man. I'm still in a bad mood.
Yeah, I came here with other stuff prepared, and now I just.
Well, let's do it.
I mean, this isn't even prepared. I wouldn't say this is like a serial killer wrote on a notepad.
Oh,
I don't.
do it.
What?
Do it.
What you got, bruh?
He's got.
All right. So I was preparing a passage called "The Great
Yes.
Feeling of Ambiguity" or ambivalence, but I had a few too many last night and I got distracted. So
Few
I
too
also-
many what?
beers.
Ah,
I
okay.
had beers. So I wrote.
Wouldn't it be nice?
I wrote.
Wish I had some beers.
I don't know why I wrote this, but I wrote this as if I had to like manufacture a feeling of authenticity. Woo! 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 Penguins got the cup. Yeah! All right. Woo! We did it. They did it. They did it again, but this time in a different town.
I didn't see it either time.
A different town that wasn't Pittsburgh. Woo! Again. Penguins with Sidney Crosby as the bladed crusader cutting in tracks to human MVP of living on the planet Earth. Messed that up. That's about one passage there. Like I said, I got a little distracted. So, time's almost out, right? We gotta like.
I literally own the network, so I can do what I want.
Well, I don't want.
Is this a commentary on the they and we of like sports micronationalism? Like what's your angle you're grinding here?
My angle?
Yeah.
Well, my home sport is baseball. I through and through am and still was a Cubs fan. I don't know how that plays, but I moved to Pittsburgh and I'm like, I still love the Cubs, but like the whole feeling of like 100 years and like going to the game with my dad and like and going to Wrigley. This like that feeling it was lost to like PNC Park, which was gorgeous. Like I would say, and I'm going to get contention from some friends at home, that PNC Park is more prettier than Wrigley. Maybe not like 2-3 years ago when they did the construction, because that was like classic ballpark. Like you had a guy in a day like today, like 92 degrees.
I think Wrigley
and, like,
has more
old
of that.
board.
It has that feel like it's an old time baseball park.
It did, and then baseball changed because they added the fucking jumbotron. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
They added like a jumbotron with like a Budweiser thing underneath it, and then now games have replays. Like baseball doesn't need replay. Like baseball is great because
I think the umpires are so awful that replay is great.
No, I think that's the love of baseball is the hate of the umpire when he gets it wrong. Like, it's not like replay. Like what? They're going to some people in another town now to like.
New York, because that's like
okay,
the league
the town being New York.
So it's like hockey has been doing that for years, man. They send it out to Toronto.
And hockey's fine because the puck is moving so fast and in so many places, and like
but the umps
and
are
the
so
scoring is
incompetent.
way less. Like baseball, there is so much to replay now. Like. There's so many bases, there's
But don't they have to throw a challenge flag in baseball?
I think it comes automatic. I might you can correct me if I'm wrong on that.
I thought they had to
but
throw
I
a
think-
challenge flag. I thought.
Well,
that
okay,
was...
that's my point entirely. Baseball doesn't need challenge flags. It's not soccer. Like it's not football. It's not like baseball is like that American sport where it's just like you sit in the bleachers, you can talk the entirety of the game. Like there's like the plays are nuanced and I don't know. I digressed. I'm a Cubs fan. They won the World Series. It sucks that I had to see that here because it was like it didn't feel the same way it would have if I was like still maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe that's like 108 years and the Cubs haven't won a World Series and then they win it and then there's that feeling of like well, shit. Like are we gonna win it next year? Like now like that's maybe what all sports is that release of hey we got the cup. I'll see you next year. Like that's sports, That's
Well, but with hockey, the thing is the release is a big deal because it's such a big build-up. It's the most rigorous playoff system in all of sports. So I think, and it's almost like a second season if you go the full length. So I think that's why it is such a big release when you get the cup. Plus, let's be honest, the Stanley Cup is the coolest trophy in sports by far.
Brian,
it has the most notoriety.
Yeah.
Did you even grow your beard out for the playoffs?
I don't do that, no.
See, and then you're gonna act all sorry. Like I had a chef at my work. It has been hot this week, and he's like, "I just need the playoffs to be over. I just need the playoffs to be over." And he's got this terrible beard, and he is dedicated. Okay.
Okay, I've never. But here's the thing: every time they've ever won, I've never grown a playoff beard. So if I grew a playoff beard, they'd probably lose. You see? Plus, I don't like the itchy feeling when you get a beard, so I just have to shave.
I will
That's
give
the
you-
dedication, the hair shirt factor.
Yeah,
It's
you gotta
just
get and you gotta get past the itch. The itch is.
I know, but I
temporary,
can't. I'm just like I'm too big
You
of a.
can't get past like that millimeter of growth where you're
Yeah, I'm
out.
too big of a bitch to deal with that. I have to
I didn't
shave
say
it off.
it either.
It's awful. So,
I do want to commend you though, because you called. We were at Bloomfield Bridge Tavern, which, by the way, there was an article in the Post Gazette about how I think they're closing. I don't know.
Yeah, I keep hearing all of these rumors, but then I don't know if it's true because I keep seeing. Is it because I keep seeing the articles come up?
Yeah, I know people who work there.
It was written the day that we were there. I'm like trying to revise in my head if I saw a guy who like looked like an old fedora, like a cigar in hand too, and he's just like writing. I didn't see that guy there. That's what I assume all the newspaper people are. Yeah. But anyways, let me commend you. You did say that day that you're like, listen, they never win it at home. We're gonna win it. We're gonna win it on Sunday.
See? I called it.
We're gonna win on Sunday because that's how we always do. And sure enough, 0-0 for the longest time.
And sure enough, I would have been off on Wednesday night when they would have played Game 7, and I would have been able to see them. But heaven forbid, I enjoy anything.
Schadenfreude, people. So Brian's misfortune in not being able to see his home team take the cup is the reason why.
That's the thing that both wins have in common.
So next time the Steelers are doing bad, just get Brian.
Do not let Brian watch the playoffs. He will ruin it.
I don't care if they win, so it's not gonna. It's not gonna affect me the same way.
The Pens?
No, the Steelers.
No, I'm talking about the Pens.
But next time the Pens, you said the next time the Steelers.
Whenever you can't watch a game, they win.
I was just extrapolating. I thought maybe it's like retroactively will work for other teams, but there's too many baseball games to keep you busy.
City of Pittsburgh, keep Brian away.
Besides,
from
I don't
the
think there's
Pens
anything
games.
I can do that'll counteract Bob Nutting's wallets. You do have to contend with that as well. So.
I feel completely like an idiot. I shared the worst story to share online for my first time.
We'll have you back.
Pinned me. Like you can't do that now. Well,
that's what happens when you come onto my show, man. It's a stream of consciousness type of deal.
Now I'm on the record as a reefer smoker. So that which since I have not quit. Since that time I've definitely dialed back. I'll say God, can you hide something from your mom on Facebook? Is that possible?
You can maybe I don't know. Can't you tweak your Facebook posts or whatever so that only certain people see it?
As long as I don't have to defriend her. I don't want to do that to mom.
Yeah, that would suck.
I don't want. Diane Rawlinson's too good for that. Yes. she's a teacher, so it's summer now, so she's gonna have to get her kicks from living vicarious through me. That's not true. She's actually at a yoga conference teaching thing in Costa Rica. My mom's
that sounds
That's
dope.
Yeah, it's just as hot there as it is here. So
well, are you do you have any siblings who are still in high school?
Yeah, I got one
in high school.
In high school, no.
Okay.
I got a brother who's older. He's 3 years older than me. He is a carpenter in Chicago. He's a collector and just an all around eclectic, ahead of the trends. He's, I mean, I don't want. He's the problem and the solution that I think America has in front of it. As far as our generation is, we're the problem, but we're also the solution that we fail to see. Not fail to see that we failed to really light that kindling under all of us. I think that needs to happen.
Well, usually parents, when the kids, graduate high school, that's when they become more fun. I did, my parents, for example, they didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Ever. And then when we graduated, all of a sudden, they're, out drinking every night, partying. I go to them for, ideas on where to, go drink out in that area because they, you
got some cool parents.
They're always out. So.
My parents have always, babysitter time to time. They're casual, very I don't want to say suburbanite because they're both fascinating, but they move to a suburb and they go out time to time, but they have kids. It's the classic American dream. So.
Yeah, well, my parents, both of my parents are awesome. My mom's fantastic except for when she's sending me pictures of other people celebrating. That's what you missed the beginning of the show. She sent me last year during the playoffs. She literally,
mom.
she sent me pictures of other people celebrating when I couldn't watch the.
She knows that you're the reason why they won. So she's just the more suffering Brian endures, the more we win.
Maybe it worked because this year they won again.
We need to make you wear a hair shirt next time.
Next year she did not. This year she did not send me pictures of people celebrating. So therefore. We're screwed for 2018.
Can I tell you where I was when we won the cup?
Sure.
I hope we all remember where we were when we won the cup.
Yeah, I remember where I was. Go ahead.
Okay. So I was seeing my friend's band, The Pedals.
Nice.
They're a solid local Pittsburgh band, and there'll be I don't know if
I've
it's
seen
wrapping
them,
up.
yes.
Have you seen it? Yeah,
I've
yeah.
seen them, yeah.
They're playing at Mr. Small's on the 30th.
Upstairs or downstairs?
I believe upstairs. Don't quote me on that. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what part of Small's, but they're also releasing their album Meld around that time near the end of the month. And they just had a write-up in Manic magazine. But yeah, they're a solid local band, and they were playing in the Speakeasy. So I was like, they were playing during the game too. So like, I was just like, what's the score? What's the score? And they're playing What If Being Dead Sucks, and it's just like 0-0. I'm like, okay. Then they're playing Lovely Monday, and so what's the score? What's the score? It's 0-0 in the second. I'm like, okay, we got this. And they finish up their last song. There's like 8 minutes left in the game. Everyone like packs up as much as possible, and they just run upstairs. And the moment the whole band gets to the bar, and like it was just like this community event. We all like got around the bar, and then I forget who scored. Who scored the goal?
It was Hornquist.
Hornquist. So what an awesome name.
I know, right? His nickname is Horny.
Well, so
Wah, wah.
No, I mean, it literally is. That's what they call him. Like, everybody.
Gotcha. No,
everybody calls him Horny.
I didn't not believe you for a second.
Yeah.
So Hornquist scores, the bar's lit, and there's like a minute and a half left, and then we're just counting down, and we're sharing shots, and then everyone has to head back their way. So another little side venture I'm invested in is mopeds.
Yes.
Mopeds.
I gotta get a slogan. Hold on. If I'm gonna look at the camera like that and say mopeds,
I think that's it.
Is it just
Mopeds.
mopeds? They're like lawnmowers with wheels.
Hair shirt. Mopeds.
Mopeds.
Lawnmowers have wheels.
That was the one slogan I had, and you're gonna call it mopeds.
I mean, some
They're like
of them are
lawnmowers
even
without the blade.
automatic, lawnmowers. You can even get it to go. So
So I have a moped called the Pinto 2. It was built by an Austrian company, and it is a JC. You can order in the JC Penney catalog. I bought it in
that exists.
in
Still?
1978. Yeah, no, there's no JC Penney catalog. If there was, it would be under business. Like it wouldn't. How would a catalog exist nowadays? Like that's just the internet.
Actually,
This is a catalog. Just like
I've seen it before. Montgomery Wards still exists via the catalog.
They used to have to put things on trains to give to us. Like now drones are going to be delivering them soon. Like
Right.
oh, future crazy. But so yeah, I got a Pinto 2, which is it followed the Pinto 1. I have a black and yellow Pinto 1, which it's had some carb issue. It had an air leak somewhere, and like it for the most part, every time you throttle it, it kind of like it chokes it too much and adds too much air. So Trevor, my other roommate, longtime roommate, we're almost a domestic partnership, 6 years. He Altoona boy with Max. So he spent one day working on it. And then didn't work. The carburetor was giving him issues, so he spent another day working on it. And then just after like trial and error, fixing floats, fixing needles, checking out and swapping out jets, anyways, he got it running. So we had an inaugural moped ride to James Street Gastro Pub, saw our favorite band play. Then we went upstairs and saw our team win the cup, and we got back on the bike, and I have like a little bell, and we made this beautiful little like 2-person moped parade down into the city, into the heart of the city, down Liberty. Liberty was still cut off because of Pride Fest, but it was just garbage. It was like a post-apocalyptic landscape there. So we like bypassed the barriers, just like speed down.
No, I wonder if they got rid
Liberty.
of
Spit by Liberty, and then we're just ringing bells all the way home, and then just people are just woo woo. It's great.
I wonder if they got rid of
Great.
the trash cans for Pride, because that's one thing that like was really stupid about last year. Whenever the Penguins could have won the Stanley Cup at home, they removed all of the trash cans in the entire Hill District, and then they complained that there was trash. And it was kind of like
for trash can fires.
City
they removed them,
planning.
huh?
oh well, yeah. Well, my thing is, it's just like you can't complain that there's trash when you don't give anybody any place to throw trash away.
And you can't complain that there's no dumpster fires either when you get rid of all the dumpsters. How are people supposed
That's
to
right.
party?
Dumpster fires are
Damn
banned,
it.
right? Okay.
So you said moped. So like, here's a real serious question. as a moped,
I've never heard anyone proceed. Oh, so you said moped. Here's a serious question.
Yeah, so here's a serious question.
Never-
As a moped driver, would you ride in a regular lane or a bike lane?
Good question. That is a very serious question.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm just genuinely curious.
Okay. So,
Or do you think like as a
God.
cyclist you could just ride wherever you want to ride?
I'm
Yes,
gonna,
that one.
Answer carefully. You're gonna get yelled at.
No, I know. I'm gonna
Ooh,
go
we
on the
just got a
record
whole bunch of
twice
smiley
committing
faces. What
two
is that?
crimes. Like this is lunacy. No. Okay, so yes, my moped. So I work in film in locations in particular, which is like providing for shooting crew and doing dirty work, stacking cones, no parkings, and then trash pickup, and then also working with neighbors, which is my favorite part, is getting to meet people in different neighborhoods.
That would be the worst part for me. but-
So like I kind of have a good rapport, I would say, with a lot of the cops in town, and mostly all the cops in town are like trying to stop larger crimes. So I'm not too worried about bike lanes, but this is my rule of thumb: if there is room, and I have slower time accelerating, I gotta like push myself forward. So if there is room, I will enter the bike lane, and I might kill my engine. And largely, I will only do that at a red light. If a car needs to pass, I will enter the bike lane. But I'll never just like solidly cruise down it. Like
Okay.
I'm thinking of the one mostly in Bloomfield, and Bloomfield's just a mess because
Yeah.
I hit every light anyways.
I was just
So-
curious because it's kind of a unique situation because it's not like it doesn't really fit into either.
No,
category.
yeah, I've always thought about that too, and for the most part, on the books, mopeds are kind of like this gray area because it's like it's not a motorcycle, it's not a bike, it has pedals, but it runs on gas. And so
Yeah.
like honestly, getting a moped titled costs more than my moped would. I bought the thing for like $200 and assembled it. It was partially already assembled. It was just like I added a seat and added a tank and did some cabling and wiring. But I lost my train of thought. Mopeds.
All right, let's roll into
Mopeds.
the reason why I think the world is coming to an end, and actually, Kyle, you kind
I
of
got a
touched
passage
on
for
it.
you, yeah.
So do you? Nice. So let's play the music.
I have a hurricane. Can you see? No, it's not.
Not the song.
That was
Oh.
great. I loved it.
That's what I always think we're gonna play.
Yeah.
But we don't have licensing for that, and this is local.
Can we sing it?
Probably.
This is
I was
not
thinking
progress.
Elvis.
This is distress. Oh, what a mess. What a big bloody mess. This is not a war. This is not a fair fight. This is not a window for you to see the light. This is not a battle. This is not a victory. This is not about the desert or the oil or being free. This is not a revolution when there is no solution. This is impossible to find a conclusion. I can't stand here and watch my world die.
The world is surely and truly coming to an end, and I look at society to draw my conclusions. And today we're going to talk about sports ball. Sports ball. I'm so funny because I'm in the arts and I like to knock sports because somehow that's going to bring more people over to my craft by
This sounds like the worst game. I don't want to
by
play sports
trash.
ball.
Yeah. No, so basically, have you not heard that term or like hockey ball or whatever? Like that's like the thing. People in the arts, they like to hate on sports.
Why you
So-
why you saying only the people in the arts?
No,
like
but
to
that's
hate
where
on
you hear
sports?
it. That's where you hear
Others-
it.
Yeah,
That's where
because
you
also
hear it
people who
to that.
like books like sports and sci-fi. And
Sure.
There's a coal miner in West
My
Virginia
point
who hates
is-
sports, and I love that guy.
Sure. I'm not saying that all people in the arts hate sports. I mean, you were just doing a thing with sports and arts together. So my point is you don't have to hate one or the other. You can still go to a poetry slam and go to the hockey game afterwards. You don't have to hate one to like the other.
I think Pittsburgh is the city that proves that. Pittsburgh, people way more intelligent than in like New York and stuff still like sports. Like in New York and a lot of places, I feel like there's a fairly harsh divide really between like an intellectual class and the sports class. And I think Pittsburgh actually blurs that a lot more than most places.
Yeah, they probably do, but it's just like you still hear it in
Also,
some
black
corners.
hockey fans, am I
and-
right?
And it's so it's so
and players.
Yeah.
it's so super annoying though. It's like I feel like it comes from this like realm of like, oh, not enough people go to our events, so but they all like sports, so let's trash sports, and because it's not my thing, it's like, well, you realize some of those people who like sports may also like your thing, and if you don't like immediately jump on the attack, maybe more of those people will stick around or come by.
I think you might be missing the irony, or I don't know if it's irony, but I do think there is a pleading ignorance to sports for the sake of comedy. Because it's like, oh yeah, it's funny to call a puck ball or whatever.
But it's
like,
not funny. Like, to me, I just like, I roll my eyes and I'm just like,
funny is an individual
Oh my god,
thing.
you should have seen the dishwasher at my work lose it when I told him I actually didn't know any of the rules to football. He was like, "How are you a man?"
Oh yeah, no, there's definitely crazies on the
Terrible
sports side.
gender
I definitely agree, but they're also not playing the game. You know what I mean? Like, it's one thing if it's like Sidney Crosby's going out there like, yeah, the arts suck. Oh.
Crosby, you really like made him sound like a dick.
That's what I mean. Like, you know,
put words into that man's mouth. And
Sidney Crosby, he's out there. He's like, you know, you know, frou play. You know, like, theater. Ooh, like, you know, it sucks. You're lame. That's what I'm saying. So, you know, he could like stereotype or, you know, be mean or like hate on something, but, you know, that's not gonna make anybody like hockey at all. In fact, that's the one thing I give sports credit for is like they take advantage of music like you wouldn't believe.
I think I got something to read for you.
Okay.
This is not what's on the page. We like sports, and we don't care who knows. From shooting hoops to the Super Bowls, we like sports, and we don't care who knows. Football, 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 football. Tennis, hockey, golf.
Lonely Island.
Nice.
Yes, that's Lonely
Yeah.
Island, and there's nothing on the page. I think is that like, does that sum it up? Is just that like, I guess is the playing off the comedy of like pretending you hate sports when you just don't like people who don't like sports.
No, I don't dislike them. I just think that you're not helping your cause. It's kind of like we were talking earlier about
Wait, what's their cause?
Yeah, what
trying
is
to bring
the
people
cause?
into your art and enjoy your craft and pay more attention
And
to.
you think that they do that by shitting on athletes who could beat the hell out of them?
No, I just think that they.
That's not true. Not actually.
I just
that's
think-
not all true. Theater people, some of them are
Some of
very
them
much.
can.
Brian,
Yeah.
but I want you to
What
try
I'm
to.
saying is that whenever you're out at like a slam, for example, and you say something like that, it's not going to make anybody who's there to see the game, like they're not going to then venture over to see the slam. They're just going to be like, oh, this guy's a douche, and then they're going to keep watching the game and never be exposed to your craft. So I just think that you're not doing yourself any favors.
Sometimes it's bigger than that, and here's what I'll compare it to. How many cyclists who are not also your friends do you think enjoy your show?
Yeah, but they are my sworn enemy. They are the scourge of the streets of Pittsburgh. Okay. And it's time that the iron hand of justice comes slamming down on them.
I think I've made my point. What were you trying to say?
I think you have a severely flawed analogy because you're saying that they're not going to go to a poetry slam during the game because you're trashing sports. They're not going to go to the poetry
no. But
slam
my thing
because
is
it's
they may
during the game.
accidentally
Like, I
be
think-
there. Like, for example, like if I'm going to a bar, like for example, and I don't know, there's a band playing in the other room, and I'm there to watch the game in this room, and I may like hear them and venture off into the intermission.
Did you pay the cover? Because that's all that matters.
Well, sometimes it's like, what if it's an open mic or something? You never know. I'm just saying, something could happen and you could end up becoming a fan, but if like they're in there just like railing against like what you're there to enjoy, then you're not gonna be interested in taking that venture over.
fair, I guess.
That's just my.
But
my,
this is
my
how
point.
the world is ending.
Well, it's just society in general just sucks.
I think there's bigger fish to fry than theater kids who hate sports.
Maybe, I don't know. I just one man's opinion.
All right. Well, can I read something that kind of relates to this?
Sure.
This is from an essay I'm working on called "The Great Feeling of Ambivalence." Too many beers. Too many white lightnings. All right. Here we go. What it is. It scares you, but it's a lingering uncertainty, an inevitability, making the far crevices of... I always think that is cervix. I gotta start over. Hold on. The far cervix... No, crevices.
You did say crevices.
Yeah,
I
you said
know
crevices.
I said... I'll stop. There's a bit I have where I keep
Do
on
it.
thinking of words.
You got us all in suspense.
All right, I'll just finish this.
Go.
I'll just finish this thing up. Okay. Fade in. What it is. It scares you, but it's a lingering uncertainty, an inevitability, making the far shit. Sorry. Not cervixes, and the next word is not canals. I have dyslexia, by the way, so anytime I write something,
okay.
I didn't, and you're looking at it now like he is a serial killer. Like it's
Oh, I am aware.
You're aware of what?
cervix obsessed serial
What I'm
killer.
looking at.
Oh god, this is I am making myself way too vulnerable today. This is why I need to edit myself.
It's really hot in here.
Then put it, yeah. Okay. Okay, what it is, it scares you, but it's a lingering uncertainty, an inevitability, making the far crevices of your cranial caverns question the thread that holds the daily stability of routine together. It is knowing everything might one day fall a cinder, but there is hope. That's all I wrote, so.
Booyah.
All right. So, do you have anything coming up? Any kind of shows or performances on the
Mr.
horizon?
Smalls on the 30th. I'll find an open mic here and there, but like I think for the most part, I will let myself be known and seen when I feel confident with what I have. And as of now, I've lost all my notebooks. I used to like.
That's
have
right. Yeah, we
I
were
had a red
talking about
notebook. I
that.
had a tiny red notebook, and they're all gone. And it had like deep passages in there that like ring true from like 2 years ago, and gone. When Obama was president.
Thanks, Obama.
And the world felt like there was a glimmer.
Remember like that
Or maybe
old...
not. Maybe you're a Trump
I don't
fan,
think
and
there
now,
was a
now it
glimmer.
has
Do you
a
remember
glimmer.
like?
Yeah, you're
do you
right.
remember
It was
like that
all
old
wrong.
He sold
billboard?
hope.
Do you
That's-
remember that
Pretty
old
good.
billboard
Maybe
of
that's
George
what
W.
it-
Bush, and
Then
he's
he
there
did.
like cheesing it, and he's like, "Hey, you miss me?" That's kind of like they need a billboard like of Obama for that now, because I think like in either case, even though Bush was awful, it's like, both of them were better than Trump.
We were just trying to
in some
wind down this
ways. I
broadcast,
don't know.
and then
Yeah.
we got into Trump, and nothing ends with Trump.
Say who? What? Wait,
this
I
just
can't hear because we're on air. So, all right, Michael, what do you have coming up?
All right, so in addition to some open mics all week, you can also catch me at the Brillo Box doing comedy on Tuesday. You can catch me at Arcade Comedy Theater on the 24th, doing beta stage with some friends I've been writing stand-up with. And you can catch me, at doing Hogwash
Nice.
at Ham Bones, telling a drinking story. I don't tell a lot of those. I don't have a lot of those, but I got one. So check me out. When's Hogwash? Is the 18th or the 17th? I'd say Hogwash is the 17th.
I don't know. I can look it up.
Nah, it's all good.
Right.
Hogwash is the 17th on Ham Bones. Check me out.
Very cool. I will be on later tonight, 7 p.m. with Hugh Twyman right here in studio. You definitely do not want to miss that. And then Thursday, Ian Insect and I are going to be hosting a show at the Music in the Streets night out in Irwin. That's going to be on this coming Thursday, the 15th, I believe. So check that out as well.
And
Good
fuck with me
times.
on Twitter at Mike Cohen Comedy.
Yes, you can hit me up at River Talk PGH, and you can catch me again on Monday, 10 a.m. right here. Local music up next here on Pittsburgh's Voice for Local Music, The River's Edge.